Today, we are talking about a powerful and, honestly, a surprisingly simple idea that can completely change how you solve problems. Doesn't matter if it's in business or just your daily life. It is the secret weapon for getting huge results with way less effort. So let's dive right in. So, does this sound familiar? You've got this never-ending list of issues, right? Customer complaints, little production glitches, you name it. And it feels like you're just constantly putting out fires. You fix one thing and bam, 3 more pop up. It's totally overwhelming, and you know what? It's a classic business headache.
Well, if you feel that way, you are not alone. This is the exact situation that fascinated one of the true giants of quality management, Dr. Joseph M. Juran. Back in the mid-20th century, he saw companies just drowning in all this complexity and knew there had to be a better way to handle quality.
Juran's first and maybe most brilliant move was to redefine what quality even means. Before him, quality was usually just about meeting some internal spec sheet, but Juran completely flipped the script. He said, no. True quality is decided by the customer. Does the product or service actually do what the user needs it to do? That simple idea, fitness for use, became his North Star.
So, with this new customer-first mindset, Juran made this critical observation. In any company, in any system, not all problems have the same impact. Right? Some are just tiny annoyances, while others cause massive, expensive headaches. He realized the secret to a major breakthrough wasn't about fixing everything. It was about fixing the right things. The tool he used was based on the work of an Italian economist, Vilfredo Pareto, and we now know it as the famous Pareto principle, or just the 80-20 rule. The idea is so simple, but it's incredibly profound. A huge majority of your results, or your problems, come from a tiny minority of causes. Think about it. 80% of your customer complaints, they might be coming from just 20% of your product defects. Now, an economic theory is one thing, but making it a practical tool for a busy manager on a factory floor, that's something else entirely. And this is where Juran's genius really comes in. He gave these two groups simple, unforgettable names, the vital few and the trivial many. This wasn't just clever marketing. By giving them names, he turned this abstract idea into an actionable command. All of a sudden, every manager had a crystal clear mission: find the vital few. It gave them a language to cut through the noise and focus on what really, truly mattered. So, okay, that's the big question, right? How do you actually find that vital few in your own data? You can't just guess. Juran pushed for a simple, visual tool to let the data speak for itself: the Pareto chart. Here's how it works. A Pareto chart is basically a special kind of bar chart. You list out all your problems or your causes along the bottom. But here's the key. You arrange them in descending order. The biggest cause is way over on the left, and it goes down to the smallest on the right. Instantly, your vital few just jump right out at you. They're those tall bars on the left, clearly separated from the trivial many over on the right. You can see right away where to focus your energy for the biggest possible impact. And the power of this simple chart is just incredible. I mean, first, it forces you to tackle the biggest problems first, which is where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. It's also a fantastic communication tool. You show this chart to management and boom, it's immediately clear why you need resources. And it's a great way to track your progress. As you start fixing those big problems, you get to see those bars on the left get smaller and smaller over time. It's so satisfying. But for Juran, the Pareto chart wasn't just some cool standalone tool. Not at all. It was a critical piece of a much larger, much more ambitious system he developed for managing quality. Let's zoom out and see how it all fits together. He called this system the Juran Trilogy, and it's built on 3 core processes. First up is quality planning. That's where you design your products and processes right from the get-go. Then you have quality control. That's where you're monitoring everything while it's running to make sure it's all working as planned. And finally, and this is the exciting part, quality improvement, where you systematically go after problems to reach a whole new level of performance. This diagram shows the whole system in action. See that zone of quality control? That's day-to-day operations. And within it, you've got this level of what Juran called chronic waste. These are the built-in, everyday problems that are just constantly costing the company money. Now, when a big, sporadic spike, a crisis happens, everyone scrambles to put out the fire and get back to normal. But the real magic, the real breakthrough, happens in that quality improvement phase. That's where you attack the chronic waste itself and you permanently lower it to a new, much better level. And right here, this is where it all connects. How do you attack that chronic waste? What do you actually fix first? Pareto analysis.
That is the diagnostic engine for the quality improvement step. You use that Pareto chart to dig into all that chronic waste, identify the vital few causes, and make absolutely sure your improvement projects are aimed where they'll deliver a massive breakthrough result. See? It always comes back to this incredibly powerful ratio. By focusing your precious time and energy on that critical 20%, you unlock a ridiculous amount of improvement. It is the ultimate strategy for working smarter, not harder.
And don't for a second think this is just some dusty old idea from the 1950s. The Pareto principle and Juran's whole framework, these are foundational concepts baked into pretty much every modern quality system out there today, most famously Six Sigma. Its power is timeless because the principle itself is just, well, universal.
So that leaves us with one final and really crucial question for you. Take a look at your own work, your projects, your business. What is the small handful of things, the vital few 20% that are driving the vast majority of your outcomes? Because if you can identify them and focus on them, you just might unlock your next breakthrough.